amigos de Monsters and Geeks? Yo soy Eric.
Laura.
Dani.
Y quédense con nosotros en esta nueva edición de La Mole.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolcino d'amor.
Craven
Yeah,
was a character not that popular.
right.
When you write this amazing story, Craven becomes one of those fabulous characters that we love. Did you imagine that?
No, I didn't. You know what it was? I like looking at the villains and trying to understand them. You know what I mean? Because no villain is just a villain. They're not just a bad guy. They're people. They're complex. They're interesting. They have psychology. And I always wonder, why in the world would someone want to do that? Why would this guy want to put on his leopard suit and run around the city hunting Spider-Man, you know? So the whole point of that story was to explore him and understand him. And of course, for years, just what you're saying, Craven was a villain that was almost laughable.
Actually,
People didn't really pay much attention to him. If they did, they didn't think much of him. So the challenge of the story was to make him really interesting. And I found him very interesting. As a writer, you have to kind of fall in love with the characters, you know? You have to believe in the characters. And I really believed in him. So, and then all of a sudden when the story was over, it was like, oh my God, you killed Craven. If 6 months before he'd been dead, no one would have cared, you know? But, so that's the challenge, make them interesting and make people want to see more of them or weep when they die, this character that before that they didn't even care about, you know?
okay. You mentioned you killed Craven, but you also killed Aunt May.
I did.
you killed Aunt May.
I killed Aunt May, I killed Harry Osborn, I killed a lot of people.
Okay, when you kill Aunt May, that character will be dead for the rest of the Spider-Man stories. So it was the principal idea.
Yeah, what we thought at the time was that the Spider-Man series needed a shift and a change. And Aunt May had been dying for 25 years or 30 years, whatever it was at that point. You know, great character. I really loved writing Aunt May. But, you know, she was always on the verge of death practically from the first Spider-Man story. So whenever you see Aunt May get sick, oh, Aunt May's sick, she'll be well again in 5 minutes, you know? So again, the challenge was to surprise people. And instead of having her recover as we always expect, to have her die and to make it really matter. To make it, that's why I'm very proud of that story. It was a very emotional story and people really felt it in their hearts. And that's what I wanted, you know? So, and we expected that she would, you know, in comic books eventually, it seems like everybody comes back. But I figured she would stay dead for a while. She came back really fast. But our plan was to keep her dead. Because that was when we were doing the Clone Saga. And we were going to relaunch the book, you know, and start it all over again with new supporting characters. So Aunt May was really going to be gone and be gone for quite a long time. So I'm very proud of that story, though.
Okay, now we have now three different Spider-Men in the movies.
Right.
Which of those Spider-Mans liked you more? Yeah.
I liked the second Tobey Maguire movie.
The second time.
Yeah, with Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
I thought that was the best out of all of them. It was really, really excellent and really captured the character and really, really made a great villain out of Dr. Octopus. And the same thing, he wasn't just a villain, he was a really interesting character, you know? You felt for him. So I enjoyed that movie, yeah.
But how you get in? It was so difficult?
No, I mean, I just, same as everybody, made a portfolio, walked around at shows, showed it to people, and applied for jobs and emailed editors and stuff like that. Just the normal stuff.
Okay. And now what do you think about the Wonder Woman now is more than a sex symbol? What do you think about that?
For me, she's always been more than a sex symbol. She was always about honor and peace and grace and beauty. But she's never been a sex symbol to me.
And if you can give some advice for the women, like want to be Wonder Woman, what do you want? What do you can give them?
That want to be Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
You can't. You don't have superpowers. Sorry. But I guess always live honorably and always do what you know in your heart is right and always be kind.
En un cosplay, lo más.
Es que sí hay algunos proyectos que no puedo terminar porque no encuentro materiales o no encuentro peluca correcta o eso y sí me tardo, pues me llega a tardar años. Cuando ya tengo todo, pues a un par de meses, 8 meses, 7 meses y los más sencillos de un mes a un par de semanas.
Ok, cuéntanos cuál es tu siguiente cosplay en la lista.
Ay, son muchos.
¿Muchos?
Es sorpresa.
Es sorpresa.
Pero
okay.
son muchos de videojuegos porque ya tenía mucho rato queriendo hacer personajes de los primeros videojuegos que me gustaron, de los de antaño.
Pues estamos aquí ya con un dibujante pues muy fanático de Star Wars por lo que podemos ver, ¿no? Llamado Lucas Marangon. Y bueno, pues ¿cómo empezó esta historia de empezar a dibujar tanto o poder haber entrado más bien al mundo de Star Wars?
Todo lo que ves es en parte por mi fanatismo, en parte por mi trabajo. Ahora en este momento de mi carrera soy dibujante oficial de Star Wars para América Latina. Trabajo muy de cerca, trabajo con Disney, trabajamos muy de cerca con Lucasfilm. Entonces esa es la razón de que la mayor parte de mi portafolio sea de Star Wars, aunque no soy exclusivamente fanático de Star Wars, soy muy fanático de Star Wars. Desde chico, pero en realidad mi relación profesional con Star Wars empezó pues poco después de que empecé a trabajar profesionalmente en Estados Unidos. Para Dark Horse Comics, que era la editorial que en aquellos años tenía los derechos de Star Wars para cómics, novela gráfica. Y nada, pues me aventé 15 años haciendo Star Wars con ellos, cómics de Star Wars con ellos. Y esa es la razón por la que ahora soy ilustrador oficial de la licencia. Así que sí, estoy bastante empapado de la franquicia.
Pero bastante, ¿no? Yo creo que es un orgullo también, ¿no? O sea, oficial aparte, ¿no? O sea...
Sí, eso es un poco accidental. Es un poco extraño lo del título, porque fue mi jefe en Disney que me dijo: tú eres dibujante oficial de Star Wars para América Latina, ¿okay? tú tienes que decir eso. Yo, okay. Entonces yo voy y lo digo. Pero suena mucho más ocupado de lo que es, en realidad. Es bastante tranquilo, ¿no? Entonces como que estoy todo el tiempo generando cantidades de material. No, es bastante reposado, por suerte.
¿Te gustaría estar dibujando para otro personaje o algo?
Sí, he trabajado en otras franquicias. Es divertido, pero me gusta hacerlo como fan. O sea, si me gusta alguna otra cosa, como Terminator o Aliens, todo eso, me gusta hacerlo como fan. Me divierto mucho. No sé, como cuando, por ejemplo, me piden comisiones. Las comisiones me dan la oportunidad de trabajar con otros personajes que no tengo oportunidad de trabajar muy seguido. O sea, como este Kirk aquí. O sea, otras franquicias de las que también soy muy fan. Pero, no sé, profesionalmente me gustaría más dedicarle más tiempo a la novela gráfica, al cómic de autor, que es donde yo me formé y es lo que realmente lo que más me mueve, ¿no? Aparte de la ilustración. Novela gráfica es mi primer amor, así que pues siempre que puedo me doy mi tiempo para trabajar sobre mis propios personajes y mis propios libros.
hard to say. I was working for so long just doing different illustration work, and I just wound up like over time meeting, I guess, the right people, and so I was able to get in fairly easily. But I know it can be hard for people, and I know that my style is different from a lot of other like Marvel or DC comic styles. And I think I was lucky at that time. People wanted to try doing something new. So I think I was just very lucky.
And if you can give some advice for the girls wants to get in this world, what you can give to them?
I would just say, first thing for everyone is to work hard, but for the girls especially, don't let people take advantage of you. Don't, say no when you have to, and just push back, because people will try to pay you less, or, just try to say that what you're doing isn't right because it's more for girls, but just do what you're doing.
If you have the chance to draw another character, what do you want to do?
Actually, there's one thing that Ryan, who writes Squirrel Girl, and I really wanted to do if we didn't get a chance, was to do a story with Etta Candy from the very early Wonder Woman stories. She was fantastic. She was amazing. She was just this tough girl that did what she wanted.
Okay. Now the people wants to be something more than a sexual characters in the comics, not? So there be something more than that. So what is the part of you want to do with your characters?
I think for me the most important thing, and I think the thing that people don't like when they see sexual characters, is that when a lot of times when those characters are designed, they're not thought of as people first, they're thought of as just sexy characters.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is when you're doing the character, they're always people first. And if they're sexy, but it's like a sexy real person who sometimes isn't sexy.
Yes.
The most pretty people in the world are sometimes very, sometimes they're waking up or they're crying or whatever.
Cosplayer profesional, y qué te inspiró?
Bueno, yo empecé en el cosplay por mero hobby y sigue siendo mi hobby, pero digamos que a partir de contrataciones pues de empresas y de estar colaborando con negocios o lo que sea, pues ya se empezó a hacer como una profesión. Mucha gente cree que hacer cosplayer profesional es hacer algo perfecto, pero en realidad es dedicarte a eso, y yo me dedico la mitad del tiempo, ¿no?, a mi trabajo real y al cosplay.
Ok, ¿y qué tips les darías a las nuevas cosplayers?
Pues más que nada que empiecen con proyectos sencillos, ¿no?, que realmente les apasione, que le echen muchas ganas a los detalles, todo eso, que realmente disfruten el proceso de empezar a hacer un disfraz.
De creación.
Así es.
Ok, bueno, muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo.
It's so amazing. Like yesterday we went to the Sun and Moon Pyramids and to the National Museum, and I was like, oh my god, I want to be here. Yeah, it's so amazing. It's always a nice experience to be here.
Oh,
yes.
That's great.
Yes, I really love the history of Mexico.
Yes, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, the next question. What is your favorite cosplay?
Which my favorite cosplay? Oh my god, I can't really decide. Usually the last one I made, because that's the last one, that's the new one. But I don't know, I don't really have favorite ones.
All of you?
Yeah, all of them are my babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the next cosplay on your list?
Next cosplay, I'm actually working on Katarina from League of Legends, the new Dawn version. Yeah.
Okay, that's
yes.
great.
estamos con Spencer, el nuevo Darth Vader. Hi Spencer, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Listen, a few months ago we talked with Gareth Edwards,
Yes.
Rogue One director,
Yes.
and he told us that working with you as Darth Vader was kind of impressive. It's different. It's again have this Lord Vader in the scene. It's huge. Tell us your
Well,
experience.
Your
Right,
experience
okay.
as Darth Vader.
Well, when we sign a contract, we can't talk about it, right? So when we did the film nearly 18 months ago, 12 months prior to the film, the rumor came out that Spencer Weldon may be playing Darth Vader.
Okay.
So, you know, I can't confirm or deny all the way through. But there was one scene when me and Ben were at each other, me and Krennic, right? And Director Krennic called over Gareth. And Gareth put his back to me, right? And I'm thinking, what are they doing? They're not feeling the presence of Vader. Because he's with me. He's the spirit of Vader, and he's took over my body. But I'm still in the third seat, man. Just drinking my Coca-Cola and eating my popcorn. Going, what's the matter? You're not enjoying it? You know what I mean? And then I had to wait a year to find out exactly what Ben and Gareth were talking about, right? And Ben turned round and called Gareth. Gareth put his back to me, and Ben behind me, in front of me, so he didn't know what I was saying. He was going, "That's Vader, Darth Vader." And he's going, yeah. All right, we'll sort this out. So it was just like crazy, and I was like, well, good, thank you, because Darth Vader has a real spirit. He has a real presence, and he uses his whoever he wants to use to use. I don't know. It's a deep one, but all I'm saying, I've played so many characters, and everyone has got a presence. But Darth Vader, when you let him use your body and the movement, everything like that, when he takes over you got to step out, man, and just Lord Vader, man. I mean,
I knew that the uniform was the original from the New Hope from 70s. How does it feel this armor, because it's very big, all that costume.
Well, it's like going back to the originals, you know what I mean? And when when the original suit's on your back, when you're wearing it, that's a special thing, man. Do you know what I mean? After about 10, 11 hours, you know, Darth Vader's presence is his presence, yeah? But David Prowse's body is a little bit of a different shape. So after about 12 hours in it, you're like, oh! But I wouldn't change it for the world. Because it's Darth Vader, right? You know what I mean? Woo!
Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar. Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar. Alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar.
Y bueno amigos, esto fue todo nuestro especial de la Mole Comic Con en México.
Nos la pasamos increíble.
Entrevistamos a cosplayers, a dibujantes, a escritores y los esperamos en la siguiente edición. Quédense sintonizando Monsters and Geeks.
Monsters and Geeks.